Hello, everyone. Today is our Cocos and Convos, and we are discussing A Fall from Grace. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah, I seen it some years ago when it was
I,
when the hype was about it. Then I watched it yesterday.
I just got
I watched
done
it a
watching
long
it.
time ago, and I just watched it right now too.
Hmm. Good movie choice.
Did you
Good
finish
movie.
it, Devin?
No, I didn't finish it. I watched it before and I wanted to rewatch it so I can have a fresh
A
under
refresher.
yeah.
So yeah, there are a lot of dudes like dude. There are a lot of people like dude. Dude was a charmer. It was perfect, right?
Well, he was raised and groomed by his mama to do it.
Correct. Correct.
Who would
But it
want
was
to do that
perfect.
to a child?
A sick individual as an adult. So, his mama has some illness issues or something. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a good movie pick. Um, have anybody ever dealt with somebody like that?
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. Briefly. I briefly have. When you were just saying like the mama grooming the son, it made me think of like the families who have the daughter that they try to have marry a rich family. So they're grooming
Mhm.
the daughter for time.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like you're just trying to get this daughter or son of yours married off to a rich family. So you're like, I mean, it's not all the conniving and the sneaking and stuff like that, but it just made me think of like a parent grooming their child to be with someone for money. Like
But do
right.
you
it happens
but
more
do
often.
you think that it's the same as a mother grooming her daughter? Because back in the day, that's all we were worth is our virtual, and we were raised and groomed to be able to marry the best suitor. And so I don't know. On the man's side, it's like I feel like it's a little different, but then when I think about it, like yeah, like that's what we were like breeded for, breeded to continue to breed for a man to produce heirs.
Look, dude was crazy. Okay.
He
Trying.
loved Bonner. That's what he did though. I mean, that's what it really looked like to me. Is like whoever his mom set him up to do it, but what his behavior looked like, I've seen before, is love bombing. He did all of that nice
Yes,
stuff to her,
right.
all of those nice things was too much. And that's what we've been talking about too. Like, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Like, he was laying it on way too thick, and then he just flipped out and turned to be somebody else. Like, a
Right.
switch just came.
Right.
So what have we learned from that?
I don't want somebody that's telling me they love me and they're all over me right away when dealing with me because I feel like you got some underlying issues if you're all like that. Now, I shouldn't say because like for me, for example, my ex-husband he was a love bomber right out the gate. And I think at that point I hadn't quite mastered what it looked like love bombing at that point. My current husband, he was not like that. He, like I think I told y'all, I was like, I love you. He was like, it's close. What? It's close. All right, bruh. But no, like it would scare me because we know so much now about that behavior. So like when I rewatched it yesterday, and that movie I think came out in what 2018 or something like that. But when I rewatched it yesterday, I looked at it a little bit differently than I looked at it back when it came out. What I got from it yesterday was, because I recognized the signs of a narcissistic person and the signs of the love bombing and all that, more so now than we talked about or paid attention to back then. um it's a little different in my brain. Like, I'm more alert, and I was more along the lines like, he gotta go. He gotta go, like, right out the gate. Even before he started doing all the crazy stuff, I was like, this ain't right. And she was an older lady too, so it was like, not saying that young people can't fall in love with the old, but he was just doing way too much. What I don't like, or what can we talk about the friend? Because people out here posing and pretending to be, his mama was pretending to be
With
her
her friend.
friend.
Uh-huh.
How do you know who you know is really,
Miss Sarah.
man? How do you know that that's really your friend? Like, that woman was like in her house talking about, I'm not leaving, I'm her friend. All this, oh, I'm pretending to be on your side stuff, and then all the while that's your baby, that's your child standing across the room, stealing her money and antagonizing her. Like, I don't know, the
That's
movie that
demonic. Demonic is what it is. That's a spirit
right.
on her, make her do all that. That was just, sorry, that's my answer for things like
She'd have to get whooped.
So I think she should have had a better lawyer. She should have had a better lawyer. I don't know if it's because it was the lawyer, because the lawyer was the sister from Acrimony or what, but she was getting on my nerves. It was a sister from Acrimony, so she was getting on my nerves already. And then seeing her as the lawyer, I didn't feel like she really. I don't know. At the end, yeah, but I don't really feel like, I knew she was a new lawyer and all that, but I just didn't really feel like she was a good fit for the role.
Right.
So that's my take on it. And I'll be honest with you, dude was I would not have dated him off of the strength of how hard he was coming. Period. Now,
Ashtray.
6 years ago, I'd have been like, "Oh, take me,
Ashtray.
ashtray B." No good. Wait, the woman in the bedroom. Oh, okay. The woman in the bedroom. Look, I'd have beat dude and her. I'd have beat him. You up in my house and gonna talk about you should have put locks on my door, and you gonna continue screwing this person in my bed in my room.
Well,
Then you gonna walk.
the girl thought she was at his mama house.
My mama look better than that. My mama look better than that. What? Why would you? Man, I ain't never dealt with nobody like that, because I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all if I did. I just couldn't. I couldn't even imagine. Like, yeah, there was some. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, ladies. Did you two watch the movie?
What
I
you
did.
think?
And I'm glad you guys gave me the warning label, because like it was pretty triggering for me. Definitely the crazy making behavior, denying what he's was doing to her, and just so much crazy making and so much gaslighting and verbal abuse, financial abuse. I mean, just all of it. I was like, wow, what is this movie? I don't think I would have been able to watch it like a few years ago. I definitely used to those kind of movies. I would just like, oh no, this is too much. I got to turn this off. But
Movies never really triggered me like that. More so, I think it was more so like songs for me. Movies, I was always able to watch movies. More so for me was like songs that were going on in a time frame of whatever I dealt with or whatever issues I had. But that's very interesting. I mean, yeah, I could see where it would be triggering man, it was a triggering movie. I can't even. And he didn't even die.
right?
Look at that.
At the end, he did.
But I'm saying she went to jail
Yeah.
and he wasn't even dead. So, and Felicia Rashad, or the Mama Sarah, was dumb. She wore the necklace to court.
Hmm. Which opened up all the cans of the secrets. Because had she not had the necklace on, she would have never known. But I guess it still would have all fell apart due to the fact of the lawyer didn't know about the necklace, and she was just
True.
on her way to Miss Sarah's house.
Mhm.
True.
I felt like my blood was boiling when I was watching certain things. Like just like imagining if that was you, like the part where it was like the payments have already been on automatic pay and your account is
Mhm.
$46,000 in the whole. Like what? Like,
Man, losing my job, like, yeah, no.
it was just so many things where it was like there are people who do this and they feel nothing by it. Like they're ruining
No
people's lives.
remorse.
And they don't care because they just want the financial gain, and it's crazy. Yeah.
What
So
was your thoughts on it, Janet?
So this I've watched it many times, but I did watch it again just to be fresh. But she definitely had a lot of tolerance, and that's a good thing because yeah, he was reckless. He was very very reckless. Like it was just, and like Ebony, he was so you're so gorgeous, you're so this, you're so he was doing too much. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like, okay, like, are you being authentic or what's going on here? So I do agree with that. But yeah, yeah,
I think we're all
he
familiar with love
lasted
bombing.
he really for real. He lasted quite some time. I will say that because I probably would have lost it a long time prior
You'd
to
have
that.
took
And
them
Ebony,
out.
I didn't even realize that. Girl, you know I would have took him out, girl. Girl, I would put my
That's
effigy
that's
on.
that's Tony Montana cousin. She would have took she
She's
was
so
Tony
girl,
on
she messaged me
Montana
that the other day. She was like, girl,
from
I'm watching your
Scarface.
cousin. I was like, I'm watching Scarface. No, but he was very disrespectful. Like, and the sad part is there are people like that. That's the sad part. It's like it's almost like they know who they playing on. They prey on women that are very vulnerable and maybe aren't, very outspoken and probably don't really have a backbone. Because he definitely, girl, he wouldn't have done that with none of us.
Well,
It would have been low key.
you want to know what the funny thing is I think that if you've never been in a relationship where you've been love bombed before, and you put anybody in the right environment, you can never say never. It all depends on like what it is that that person is going through at that current time, like with age becomes a lot of different things. And so the older you get, the more insecure you start to become,
Vulnerability.
because then you have like all of these other things, now I got wrinkles and I got gray hair and I got saggy parts, and I'm only getting older, and now I'm becoming lonely in life and stuff like that. So we can never say never. So um, I think that if you've never experienced it before, though, and it just came walking along your way, and you're in the midst of all of these different things that are going through in your life, if a younger man was to come and approach you, the first red flag would be this is too good to be true any dang how. But you have to be able to, just trust the system and however it plays out. But the love bombing, it's like, how do you know when it's actually love bombing? Because somebody can actually, meet you and just from the jump just feel like they've known you forever. And do you then say that that's love bombing, or do you say that that is just somebody that you met that actually you've intertwined with on a whole different level that you've never done before? Um, I don't think that there's a time frame of when anybody can fall in love with another individual. I think that it's like she said, I was paying so much attention to what was in his hands than what was behind his back. So I
Correct.
think paying attention to all of the elements of that, is what all people need to do. But if we just continue to put up guards in our lives, then how human are we really? Like if I put up a guard and say, I'm about to be 45 years old and I can't be loved by anybody in their 30s or lower than 35, would be me putting up some kind of wall. Who's to say that my significant other and my person that God has for me isn't in that age realm? I don't know. I don't know until it actually gets here. I don't know who my soulmate is. And so when you meet somebody, though, I have in my life met a person and within the first month felt like I've known them forever and was able to be with them for quite some time. And things just didn't work out. But I don't know exactly what is love bombing just because, yes, I tend to throw my heart right out on the line right away. I want to just get it done and over with. I want to show you what I got. Let me show you my card so you show me yours. I don't want to play any games because I know for some weird reason in relationships, there's that, honeymoon stage. And after we get over our honeymoon stage, then there's the I don't know if I can stand you stage. And then maybe we're okay stage. And the end stage is always a blowout. I don't never want to get to that blowout. So before I even get to that blowout, I'm already gone in my head. I just haven't told you.
Well, I think the difference
So for me,
love
Davina,
bombing and what you're talking about is love bombing is they do all of that and then they tell you that you owe them something basically,
Mhm.
right? They have an expectation like, oh well, I did this and this for you, and they have an expectation. It's like it's like
The
manipulation. They
crazy
did
making.
all of these things thinking that they were going to get something in return. Now, if they do it and you never hear about it, then so be it. Like you said, it's just somebody who's just showing you interest, like you're showing them interest. But if you feel like they expect something or like you have to do something because of something that they're giving you, something they're doing is giving off that vibe, it's love bombing. And I agree with you. Like you can fall in love with somebody rather quickly and it can be genuine and it can be real. And then us being people who have our trauma survivors, um that's kind of tricky because it's like, okay, I'm looking at what's in front of me but not what's behind the back. Like if it's obvious, that's one thing, but us being victims of trauma, we can find a lot of things if we start picking and start looking, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
do really dig or do we just really enjoy the moment? Do we really just
That
be,
part.
like whatever it is, I'm taking it for face value today. If it turned out to be something else tomorrow, then that's what it is. So I agree with you on that, Davina, because it's like, which one we gonna do? We gonna be healing and we gonna focus on the here and now, or are we going to be traumatized trying to figure out what's your angle, what you doing all of this for? You know what I mean? You can't enjoy it. You can't even
Well, and
you
two,
can't
do you ruin the relationship right from the beginning with
you
that?
self-sabotage it because you're
Yeah.
wondering like, well, what is this about? So my rule of thumb is I'm gonna trust you until you give me a reason not to. Now as soon as I start feeling like, okay, you expect something in return, or like you overstepping your boundaries because you doing certain things, so because you buy me stuff, you feel like you can pop up when you want to, or you feel like I owe you out to dinner. You know what I mean? When I start feeling like you got these expectations based upon what you've been doing, now we got a problem. So I just wanted to piggyback off that, and I couldn't talk because my stuff was messed up. Now I'm on my phone, so now I'm back.
Good.
Hi, Tasha. How you doing?
Hey, Tasha.
Hey.
I think the big thing too is
so
that
so
after
not
after the love bombing, then it becomes the evaluation, where they're withholding all the love and affection, put downs, gaslighting, projections, just that vicious cycle, you know.
Janet, your volume is really down low, and so that's why you keep getting talked over.
so can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. With everything that we have gone through, survivors of the toxicity and the negative things that we've been through, in from my with love bombing, a man is gonna fail. A good man is gonna fail than a man that has no motive will gain, if that makes sense.
Say it again.
So for me, I'm on 10 toes, right? That they can,
get that.
a man gonna come through the door, they gonna tell you this, they gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? And the way I look at it is, with everything that I've been through, showing is believing at that point. You know what I'm saying? So the way I
Yeah.
look at it is, in this right now, like today, either like I said, a good man fail quicker than a bad man will gain. You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
I
you.
Because
understand
I'm
what you're saying.
catching them flags. You feel me? And you're right. It sucks. Like, we may turn around that person that is being genuine with us. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like I'm so alert. I'm so alert now. You know what I'm saying? That those little things, like what she experienced, right? Yes, she's older, and she was more vulnerable. You know what I mean? She hadn't really experienced a while. She had her own story to tell. So she had, some hiccups and things like that. But if we really, really look at it for what it was, like he really did show his hand prior to anything that actually took place. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, and again, the movie was different, obviously, than true life. You know what I mean? It was a plot, it was a ploy, it was but we go through these experiences, you know what I'm saying, and we grow from them. It's always a takeaway, some sooner than others, you know what I'm saying? But for me,
Yeah.
it's like, you get it down. Like, well, if I show one or two things, you're either going to continue to pursue me because you really have true intentions, or you're going to move around because you're going to realize that she ain't going.
Would you have beat him with that bat?
Because a man that, right. Well,
Yeah.
no, what I'm saying is, a man that is truly, truly, truly into you and has true intentions, he's not just going to give up like that. He really isn't. You know what I'm saying? He really isn't. And obviously, it's the way that you go about it. Like, I mean, you can't just be like, oh yeah, no, you can't treat everybody like what you've been through. But if you feel like you're heading to a space where you've been, and maybe, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable here, a man that is truly into you and is not trying to manipulate you or hurt you or harm you is going to stick around to show you that. That's what I've learned. So it's okay for us to set them boundaries, and it's okay for us to be cautious, and it's okay for us to, be shielded. Like, that's okay. That doesn't necessarily mean that we blocking our blessing, because what's for us is for us. That man
I
is going to be like, you know what? I'm this different. Maybe this will be a little different than what she's experienced in the past, and she might look at me in a different light.
I do get
Versus,
I do get that and
whatever.
understand that, but there is a flip side to that though. Like, say you got with a man that was so traumatized from his past experience with women, and now came into interaction with yourself, and he has all of this trauma. And so now he wants to know where you're going, and he wants to know what time you're coming back, and he wants to know who you're going to be with. And he doesn't believe that that phone call was really your homegirl. That then starts to be toxic for the relationship. And how much of that can you put up with because of
Right.
his
And at
trauma?
that point,
And so I don't know. I'm
but
the
that's
kind
what
of
I'm
girl
saying.
that
At that point, you could be you can be a good man and carry that trauma with you. And if that's the case, guess what? I still don't want nothing with you because you got healing to do. You know what I'm saying? Because respectfully, when I go into my next relationship, I'm gonna make sure that I'm not on defense. You know, obviously, still be cautious. It's okay to be cautious. That doesn't mean that you're being defensive or that you're, you know, basing current situation on anything that you've been with. You know what I mean? But we're supposed to be cautious. We're supposed to set those boundaries. We're supposed to speak up when things don't seem right, which is something that I think we all have failed at in the past, which is why we're healing, right? But in process to that point, I don't want nothing with you anyway.
But trauma is trauma. And so, I mean, if we were in a traumatic situation with any significant other in our past, we don't know when that's going to resurface. So, yes, we could be in the portion of healing, but we will never truly fully be healed at any point in time in life. And so when we have that trauma, the lid can come off of that at any time. Something could be triggering in a new relationship, and then all of a sudden the lid pops off on that. And by you being my significant other and my new significant other, how much of that old baggage, because we can call trauma baggage, it really is at the end of the day, but it's not something that we're deliberately carrying around with us. But we have to be fully conscious and aware of what we've been through and what can be triggering. And if we're not, that lid can come off at any time. And how much of that can somebody else endure and take because they love you and want to be with you?
It's like, what is your quality of life? You know,
I think that there's a difference.
Oh, go ahead, Janet. My bad.
So I think that there's a difference between trauma and what you're insecure about because of the trauma that you've experienced. Or something that has anything to do with my fault. You know what I'm saying? If it's triggering for you, that's more of an insecurity for me. From my perspective, that's more of a, to me, that's trauma, but that's deeper than trauma, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right. We've all been through something. We all come from something, and there are different things that will trigger our trauma. But if you're mad about a phone, you have no business dating.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, and I didn't want to go ahead and put out like the real life, but I'll just go ahead and I'll put out some real life. My trauma due to my past experiences, with my sexuality of being, just wanting to be open and right off the gate, like we're sexual. No, I have to know you for quite some time before we can be intimate. And then there's a certain and a type of way that we can be intimate without my traumas not to interfere. And so a lot of times the guys don't understand those cues, even though I try to put it out there right at the beginning. Like, I don't like drunken sex. It's not happening. I want to be fully aware of what it is I'm doing. And so if you know that I went out and I had a drink, that's triggering to me. You probably get a fight. Like, and it's not that that's what I'm trying to do, but it tends to push people away. Some guys can't handle that. And I don't like to be active all of the time. So I can go months without even being intimate. And guys like, what's going on with you? Like, who else are you sleeping with? I'm not sleeping with anybody else. I'm not really into that portion of the relationship. Now, do I sometimes do it? And so I can maybe understand that. But then on the guys' end, like, how much of that can they really endure?
As much as they like you and love you and want to be with you, it's my body, it's my choice. There's men that wait for marriage for years. If you're not willing to wait because I've experienced something that traumatized me, this isn't even like a choice of faith. This is, there's men out here that ain't even touched a woman sexually until marriage.
But we were
No,
all
it had
built with
nothing
that
to do with
emotion.
trauma. It was just my belief. I get it. I get it. But what I'm saying is, what your trauma, like you said, that is so, and I get it. I get it. I'm very understanding of that because, you know, I love you.
But a
and
lot
I
of
know,
guys
you
are
know,
not, because we have the
yes.
conversation and then we are intimate, and
And,
then there's
and
certain
those are the
things that
guys that
trigger,
aren't worth
and
it.
then it starts to get longer distance, and they just can't handle it because it's like
And those are the ones that
we
God
have to
don't got it for
continuously
you.
talk about it. I get it. But I could see how on the other end it could be, you know, nerve-wracking and too much.
Yeah.
I can see how
again,
that could be
those are the guys that just ain't, they ain't for you.
I want to chime in
That's how I look
on
at it.
the part about being healed. Like, I've had conversations with people where they're like, they would rather date someone who is healed, come healed, right? And I think us discussing how something could be a trigger, right? You could feel like you healed, maybe even went through therapy, maybe even made amends with your situation. And then you have not had anything trigger you for 15, 20 years. And then something happens that triggers you. So how can someone say, I only want to date people who are healed, when what is really being healed? Like, honestly, like, what is being healed? If you break your arm and it heals, your arm is never the same again. So is it really healed? Because it's never going to be the same. It might seem like it works pretty good, but it will never be that same way. So on a perspective of that, like, what is y'all opinions on saying, like, someone who is in the dating game and they say, I only want to deal with women who are healed or men who are healed? Is that like a cliche?
I think there's a difference between, there's a difference between being healed. So what I meant was more so not being healed, but being ready to date. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever going to be healed, ever. We're going to always remember the things that but that's what our mental is there for. You know what I'm saying? We got a mind for a reason. We got memories from when we were 5 years old. We'll never forget what we've been through. But are you to a point where you are okay to move on and not charge me with what the last person did to you? It's okay to be a trigger. Let's talk about it. But don't look at me like you looked at that last person. That's a problem for me. Now, we're all broken. Everybody's going to be broken and coming out of situations, right? But as long as you know the role that you played, the role that that person played, and have an understanding when you do choose to move forward, okay, I went through this. Obviously, I'm going to pay attention to these signs and these flags, but I'm not going to look at this person like they're the last person, because they're not. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it's a trigger big enough to match that energy. You know what I'm saying? Because certain things, they're just deal breakers. Certain things, you're like, oh no, not even a red flag. That's like a big old X at the door. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like when you go into a new relationship, not necessarily you being healed, but being okay with moving on, and not kind of like a teacher. You know, when you start, I always reference this. When you go to school, right, and you start over, everybody failed this test. Everybody gets an A plus. Everybody. You're gonna get an A plus, and then going forward, whatever this person does wrong on the test, okay, cool. You know, it was a bad test. We're gonna throw it out. I feel like when you go into new relationships, you have to give that person the benefit of the doubt. And if you're not ready to give the benefit of the doubt because you're broken, then you're not done healing enough. Like you said, Devin, we're never going to be 100% healed, ever. There's things we're going to remember that are always going to be triggering, but it depends on what you're willing to, what you willing to, the person that you're doing and what the trigger is and how they go about, dealing with it, or how they go about redeeming themselves, or how they go about, rectifying the situation, because everybody's different.
I can agree with that. I think it's sometimes easier said than done, though, when saying don't date until you're ready, right? Because
how do you know when you're ready?
Yeah, right. That's my point. Like, how do you really know when you're ready? Because I'll say for myself, before I entered into the relationship that I'm in, it had been a whole year prior to me even dating him that I had been with my last abusive relationship. So I thought I wasn't bringing any baggage, right? I've not been dealing with this person. I've, been doing my thing on my own, single, with my kids. Yes, I was dating and things like that, but I wasn't involved with anyone like my ex, right? So meeting my current boyfriend, it was kind of like, I'm good. I'm good to enter this relationship. We started in a talking stage. We actually did date in the beginning. We weren't intimate right away, which, that was definitely a big change for me. I can admit that. Like, you usually deal with people for certain reasons, and relationships start off of certain situations, right? So this was something different. Like, we actually started off as friends, dating, and then everything else led to a relationship. So I think initially when we first started dating and we were both talking about conversations and things like that, in my eyes, I thought I was healed, right? Because I had already went through all of my time on my own, and I felt like I didn't necessarily resolve the things that I went through, and I didn't get any type of like therapy or anything like that. But I still felt like I was at a point where I was ready to start dating. Until fast forward to situations that's happened within relationships. It could just be, just an argument that you're having with your spouse that triggers you to make you think and remember of situations that you've experienced. So it's kind of like, can you really say you're ready? When do you really know you're ready? Someone could go through therapy for years, their whole life, and still have that same, post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, I didn't even think about me even having that until we all started this group. And I was like, I think I do have PTSD to a certain extent, because it's not that I'm like feeling like someone's gonna turn around the corner and punch me in my face or something, but I still have triggers to where it puts you in a mind of, this person is just like this person. I don't care how many years you're dealing with someone, friend, whatever, you still kind of like, oh, this person's lying, or, something about this doesn't feel right. And it could be just the things that you've been through that makes you feel like that. And it might not even be anything extra, but you make something out of nothing because of what you've been through. And I think sometimes I've done that, and I can admit that. Like, I've made situations more than what they were because of what I've previously been through. And it's like, I didn't intentionally bring my baggage, but I did, and, it wasn't a good, outcome, but luckily I have someone who's understanding of that. But there's situations where people don't have someone who's understanding. And then what happens with that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And that is when
communication.
And that is when you know that that man is God sent.
Yeah.
That is what I was saying to Davina. When you're with somebody that can understand your trauma, right? Can understand it, they're either going to make it easy for you or they're going to make it tough for you. The man that makes it hard for you, that is not understanding of your triggers and things that you've experienced in the past, he ain't the one.
Yeah.
And Janet, that's not what I was saying, though.
Like, if
I was saying
Right,
like,
right.
okay,
No, but
say she's with her significant other and she continues to have triggers. Like, how much of that can he put up with? How much of that should he have to put up with? Like, when is the breaking point for anybody that is dating somebody with past triggers?
I don't think there is a breaking point when a
Well,
person truly loves you and understands that you come with. I mean, let's speak, y'all. Devin,
I
how
feel like
long have you been in
we
your
all have our
relationship?
limit. Yeah, we all have our limit though, right? Like
Right.
Ebony might be able to deal
Devin,
with
how
more
long
than
have
I
you been
can.
married? I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, it just depends on the person, how much they love you, and whether they ready to go and put up a fight with you. That's it. And of course, obviously, you got to be mindful, if you know that you got a good man that's adjusting to you and what you've been through, you can't just be a butthole about it. You know what I mean? You gotta meet them halfway. But at the same time, you still a broken woman that, you're dealing with your certain triggers. And if a man loves you, bottom line, a man is going to understand that. And he's going to be empathetic to that. He's going to be like, okay, I get it, babe. Like, well, what can we do different? He's going to be understanding. He's going to want to nurture that aspect so that you can heal. That's just because I feel like everybody, we all broken. All six of us. We all trying to heal. Right? One of us getting married. One of us been married. The other one got a beautiful little boy. Girl, I like them shades too, them stunners, girl. Go on, stun on them, girl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my allergies messing with me, so my eyes are bloodshot. So I didn't want to look crazy.
Girl, you killing it with them shades.
No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna show they're wearing them. I'm not gonna cry glasses.
No, she was on drugs. I ain't on no drugs.
I was a lover and your spectrum. No.
Allergy drugs. Look, allergy drugs. You know me
drugs. 11 years.
No, we got some comments. We missed out on some comments, y'all.
Yes, let's go through them.
Yeah.
Please.
Let's see what we got. We already said hi to Tasha.
Hey, Africa.
Let's see. Tasha said, let me put it up on the screen too while I read it. She said she let her friend lead her into a mess. I would wonder why she was so persistent on me being with her man, or this man. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like, I feel like anytime someone is like super persistent with either trying to date me or trying to have me date someone, it's like, what's going on for real? Like, what are you trying to give me, or what are they trying to give me, or no?
What's going on?
Yeah. Tasha said I would have picked up on him too, because I would beat that man into a new century.
Now that I can agree with, and it wouldn't have took for him to sit in that chair and talk crazy to me. What would have triggered me is coming in that house and catching him having sex with somebody after he done got me in this jam about I'm about to go to jail. Now y'all talk about triggers.
Losing my job.
Holy woman. But if I'd have came in there and caught him in that bed with that woman, that's when the murder would have happened, and he would have been dead for sure. And her too, like for real. That's what it got me. Like I could have probably dealt with him sitting there talking, but to actually see the act after everything that I'm going through too, like, oh man, no, she did good. She did really, really good, because I'd have lost it in that room.
I agree.
Straight up.
Africa said, I agree with Davina. There can still be triggers, but that's where a little bit of reassurance comes in. If you have an issue with that, don't work with me. I'm not going to be excessive, but I'll ask if I'm a little shaky on son. Yeah. Triggers. Tasha said that man was disrespectful and his mom was a poor example of a mother. and that showed through her son and their scamming. Yeah. Africa said we were overlapping a little bit. Yeah, something's with the reception. So we sorry if the reception is bad today. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but it sounds like it cleared up right now.
It did during our last podcast as well, so I don't think it's any one in particular's internet.
Africa said, I think it depends on what those triggers look like. Everyone's triggers can be displayed differently, which is true. Yeah. Tasha, Devin, too cool. Thank you, Tasha. I just didn't want y'all to see no red bloodshot eyes because of my allergy.
Besides the kids, I have nothing to show. Wasted.
I'm not about to deal with you.
You ain't got no choice.
I don't. But no, back to the movie. What was one scene that stuck with you after watching that? First thing that comes to your mind. Ebony.
That fool was like, my mama look better than that. I should have I'm gonna get a lock on that door. What? You doing what? In my bed? What? He was like, ashtray, B. What? No respect. Like, no respect. Like,
oh, he would have got the ashtray all right.
Right?
For real, right upside his head.
Exactly.
no, but him having that woman, that was just extremely disrespectful. Like, him having that woman in there, and then no respect for her for even getting caught. She had to sit down there, and then he coming down the stairs with this woman. I'm gonna see you again. Don't let your mama bust in next time. Like, what?
It'll be fun. We scrapping. Let's fight. All three.
Right.
Go. Like, what's up?
I wouldn't have gave it to her because it wouldn't have been on her. I would have told her homegirl it's time to go.
Right. But him?
On her, but him, he would have got
it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Him.
I agree with that.
It would have been a fun day.
Huh?
Veronica, one scene that stuck with you from seeing that movie.
Yeah, when he came down the stairs and then he put his hand on her shoulder. Like, what? Don't touch me. Like, that really stood out to me that he let the girl out and then walked over to her and touched her.
Like nothing happened.
Right. Like, what? Girl, I got mad for her, okay? I'm still mad because the nerve. The nerve.
Janet, one scene that stuck with you from watching that movie.
Ashtray.
That was mine too.
That was mine.
That was it for me, girl. That was it for me. I don't think we would have made it past ashtray.
No, we wouldn't have.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have been no woman in my bed. Girl, because that was that. I was like, well, wow. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much.
The audacity.
Trey was a bit much.
Yeah. No.
Girl, how dare you?
Megan,
that was it for me.
One scene that stuck with you from watching that movie.
Just all the blatant lying he did to her when she knew that she had all that evidence against him, that, my house was paid for, you took a note out here, what's going on, and he just blatantly kept lying to her. The crazy making, even though she had the evidence, just because I went through a lot of that with both my ex-husband and ex-boyfriend that I had too, that, that's just the crazy making. It's just a lot.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. Davina, ashtray.
Ashtray was, I was like, yeah, it would have been through booking after that. He would have got an ashtray, absolutely. It wouldn't have been in the manner of how he thought he was going to get it, but he would have got it. I would have told her, I think it's time for you to go, homegirl.
Right.
Feeling too hard when he said it too. She's like, yeah, I want my money. He like, and I want the ashtray. Okay, hold on. This ashtray, don't even worry about it. He was just like not bothered. Like, she frustrated, upset. He just sitting there like, yeah, and I want the ashtray. Okay.
I'd have been like, you thirsty too, baby? Because I'm gonna go get you that ashtray.
See, I be hearing music in my head, and I would have heard, "It's been a long time coming, change gonna come." As I'm digging the grave. Sam Cooke, I was born by the river. That's what would have been his fate. No,
As you're
For
boiling
real.
a pot of hot grits.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
this would have
yeah,
been life, life, life.
right. Woo. Mm-mm-mm. Nope.
Man.
Got some comments down there. What people, what was triggering for them or what they thought. Tasha said when his mom had all of the malnutrition women in her basement, that lady was sick, and that stuck in her head. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
that
like
was.
the Holocaust. It literally reminded me of like the Holocaust.
Yeah, yep. When he had the girl up in her crib and kept going after they was busted. Me too. That's that song playing in my head. Yep, me too. I'm typing too fast. The whole movie stuck with me. That movie was sick. I agree. I agree. That movie was something else. Another one I'm gonna throw in there real quick. That's kind of was something else for me was Medea's family reunion, or was it the family reunion when Blair Underwood was in there and he was abusing the girl?
Yeah.
No, that
I
was
didn't.
not, I can do bad all by myself.
Nah, I'm
Uh,
talking about where it was the sisters. It was and Lynn Whitfield was the mother, and Blair Underwood was the abusive fiance. He was about to marry the girl,
it
Yeah.
and
was,
he was beating on her in that movie. Well, Tyler Perry movies always trigger
and
me, and this
some
is a
wanted to
Tyler Perry movie.
with him and stuff. Yeah, the mom was trying to put her up to being with him, and yeah, that
Yeah, that was one that was really something else too. But yeah, I agree, Tasha. The whole movie just it stuck. The fact that a mother and a son would work and chorus this together to make this something and do this to somebody, again, it makes it hard to trust not just the people you're in relationships with, but watch your back with the people you call your friends. That lady was oh sweet Sarah. No, no, she wasn't
Yeah,
sweet
this
at
question
all.
you're
what if
titled
Sarah would have got her.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yeah, buddy.
That's what
Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Africa.
Yep,
Man,
I
I got
seen that one too.
You know, that to me wasn't, that was kind of on the soft side to me. I don't know if it's because I was really young when I seen it and I hadn't really experienced a whole lot of too much of nothing at that point. But because I think that movie came out, I think I was like 23 or something like that when it came out. But uh, I don't know. I kind of like how I like the Get Back. I liked how he got dumped in the tub, but I mean, I feel like that movie came with. I don't feel like this movie came with enough get back from the person that got hurt.
that got
Yeah, the lawyer was intertwined in it and all that, but I feel like she should have got her lick back. Like how in A Diary of a Mad Black Woman she got her lick back. I feel like the Grace lady should have got her lick back. Like she should have been able to redo what it was she thought she did
Well, I
Well,
mean, in
personally.
she
life,
did. Well, she
some
did
of us,
almost kill that photo.
some of us can't get that lick back.
I
She
Well,
know.
did, girl.
she said, she said at the end it ain't over.
Yeah. I just
She
think a
did.
little
She
more should
did.
have
She
happened.
did. She did beat.
I just think of what should happen.
That wasn't enough because he still lived through it.
Yeah.
Well,
He didn't.
she
Yeah,
beat
I
him
don't
until
know.
she believed he was dead.
Okay.
For real, I feel like the Diary of a Mad Black Woman. I don't think she got her lick back.
That's what I'm saying. She didn't do enough. Forget dumping him in the tub. I'm trying to
Right?
tell
With the
you, she
bubbles.
should have handled him. She didn't do enough.
But
She did
but
not.
in
She
the
did
realm
not get her lick.
in the
No,
realm of God,
like
she
I'm like
did.
all in his face where he could feel it. Like
Now she
But that
she
was
leveled
But
up.
that was God's plan. So
She leveled up. She found a man that
based
was gonna
on
love
so
her.
he did, and
She
right,
said I would
he
have
did
had to
end up getting in
unalive
a
him.
really bad situation. Kicked him in the butt. Okay, karma came from the door, but
True.
she acted actually genuine heart. She really did because
Yeah.
she didn't want to be ugly with him. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to be full. Like yeah, girl, no. Like she didn't do. I would have, girl.
I just wouldn't have went over there. Like
I
when
would
it
have cut the
happened,
leg.
I
I
would
would
have
have
just
cut
had.
the legs off. He just wouldn't
I,
have no feet.
yeah, you cutting legs off.
Girl, listen. He can't feel him no way.
I'm done. I'm done. Oh my god, I'm done.
Oh, like don't. He can't feel it. Just
Sis,
I can't wait
sis,
to
you
see
know
what
you
movie
would have
you
done it.
pick.
So who is next? Who's picking the next
Scarface.
movie?
Megan next.
What
Oh,
is the
I hope you do. Oh, I hope you do.
Megan is next.
Megan is next, but I hope you do pick your family members. Cause look,
Don't listen to them, Megan. Pick what you want. They
I
got
watch Scarface 2 times to 3 times a month. I need to stay connected.
Do you know what you're picking, Megan?
I have a few in mind. Not sure. There's a lot of titles out there that are under these narcissistic domestic violence type.
Yeah.
Hit us off with one. What you got?
Thing. Sleeping with the Enemy is one.
Ooh.
The movie Matilda is one. She's got a lot of kind of abusive parents.
I love Matilda.
I thought that would be a fun one, Matilda.
That would be good.
Just after two big harsh ones like this, kind of. It's a little
I feel
soft.
like that would be different. Yeah, I feel like that would be a different type of trauma.
And she's got the manipulative parents in there. If you think about it, I haven't watched it for a while, so it'd be nice to rewatch it.
I haven't seen it probably in about 10 years or so.
Me too. Be good to switch it up. So yeah, I'm excited to hear what you decide to pick. And yeah, we got a couple
Was
minutes.
we really picking Scarface? Hold up. Sorry. Are we really picking Scarface?
Janet might for hers. When she gets to her turn, you don't know.
You know what? I just might.
If you don't, I'm sure Ebony will for her chance.
Oh, it's gonna get in there.
Okay.
Definitely.
But now we got a couple minutes. Is there any things we need to go over? Heads up on things that are happening the next week following. By it being Sunday, what's going on this week and the weekend? And
We got to work on that prayer line link right after this call.
I did another one. So the evening prayer line is on the new link.
Today? You fixed it?
Yep, I fixed it today.
Okay.
So I'll repost the new link, but that should be fine. I'm not sure what's happening with that as far as people all of a sudden not being able to log in. But what I think I'm going to do is each week just create a new one so we don't have that issue anymore. And I'll check in on that. And then if it happens more frequent than that, then I'll just have to figure out a routine on how to, go in every few days and redo that. So I'll keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this week we have, we have our morning and evening prayer line every day. We also have Davina's 6 o'clock meetup, which I think she has been thinking of changing it, but she hasn't presented it to all of us. So that's more to come with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will get posting and things like that about that. Wednesdays, Live Out Loud podcast is, always going to be up and coming. Next week's is, what's next week's topic?
Mental health.
Mental health, yeah.
Yep, mental health. And May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So, yep, check in with us Wednesday at 7 p.m. We'll be discussing mental health. And I'm excited with that because I know that conversation can go in so many different directions. So I'm excited about that. And then on Saturday, we have our first Hot Seat Saturday. So we've been posting about that. So I'm excited for that. Anyone who is interested in future months, let us know.
Do we know what time we're doing our hot seat Saturdays?
6
6
p.m.
p.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
All right.
And we get to feature Miss Brittany Klein this
Yep.
week. So of Boss Lady Boutique in Northtown Mall. So
Yep, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to her and hear about her business and things. So, yep,
yeah.
much more to come.
A lot
So
more.
if you want a spot on Hot Seat Saturday,
Money making Mondays.
This this Sunday coming up is also our book club, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep, and then money making Mondays too. And I seen a lot of people didn't entertain that. If anyone is interested in what that is, so money making Mondays is for you all in our group, Women Empowered, to actually show what type of products, services, business you have. We have 700 plus members, so I'm pretty sure someone in the group is in need of something that you can provide. So if you have a business, if you have some services or some products that you distribute, put it under that post because that is free for you to advertise yourself in it. However many times you want to post underneath that post of your products and things like that, that's what we're trying to help y'all out to get y'all name out there. So
Yeah.
I also want to say if you guys have some ideas for other podcasts that you guys would like to see, feel free to message any one of us in our inboxes and just tell us, I might even drop a post to just see what topics, but also just let us know, hey, I think this would be a dope topic, or hey, I think this would be a dope topic. So yeah, just feel free to do that. We're open to suggestions and things that people want to hear about and talk about.
all right, well, it looks like we're gonna wrap things up unless any of the ladies have something to say. Otherwise, I feel like this is a good Cocos and Combos. I'll be excited to see what movie Megan picks for next month, and we will see y'all with Cocos and Combos next month. Bye.
Love
Bye.
y'all.
Bye. Bye bye.